morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a gander at the first secret rare that's gonna be revealed from Hot Air Arena. That is the upcoming Japanese set. It's out in like 3 weeks. It's not long until this set actually comes out. So, yeah. It's nice that we're finally getting some of these reveals. Though, as we're going to talk about in this video, I don't think we've actually seen enough of this set yet. I'm just putting that one out there. In terms of your actual official release date here, it's coming out on the 14th of March, which is actually 4 weeks, but then it's 3 weeks until we get the full official reveal of all the main set over on the Japanese channel. So, on the Japanese website. So what have we got? Well, we've got Ethan's Ho-Oh, the special illustration rare. And this raises a whole bunch of questions, but first, I just want to take a moment to appreciate the artwork here. Furusawa absolutely nailed it, and it's Ethan just watching Ho-Oh fly overhead being like, what up, bro? Love it, huge fan, just a phenomenal card. But one of the questions I've got is, where are the other EXs? Now, don't get me wrong, we know how this works at this point, right? The way it generally goes is, we've got the Champions League going on this weekend, so they do reveals on both days. So, hopefully, the deal here is that day one, they've just given us this first special illustration rare, and then day two, tomorrow, they give us a bigger news drop. That's the hope. Because right now, they showed us regular Ethan's Ho-Oh the other day. It's a Fukuoka Champions League, if anyone's interested. And they gave us the regular Ho-Oh, but it was the only EX they showed us. And my theory then was, oh, well, hang on a second, that's all right. They're clearly giving us the set reveal now because waiting till the Fukuoka Champions League, it's 3 weeks until the full set reveal. That's too close. So, little reveal today, and then during the Champions League stream, they'll go a bit crazier and show us a bunch more stuff. Today, that didn't happen. We still have only seen one EX, and we've seen the special illustration rare, and it's beautiful. But where are the other EXs? Like, look at the front of the pack. It's fair to assume that we're going to be getting an Arben's Mabasif EX, and it's fair to assume we're going to be getting Cynthia's Garchomp EX. Misty, I'm not sure. Misty didn't make it to the front of the booster pack. Does that mean Misty isn't getting an EX? And that Gyarados is like the best she's getting? I really hope not, but there is a chance here that Misty doesn't get an EX because she's not on the front of the pack. I don't think so personally, but I suppose that is an option. But it's weird that we've seen so little. We've only seen one EX. That is weird. That is unusual. I don't really know why, but this is day one of the Fukuoka Champions League. It is incredibly likely, not guaranteed, but incredibly likely. Well, we know there's going to be more news tomorrow. It's incredibly likely that will include card reveals, and we're definitely getting news. I don't believe card reveals are official yet, but we're definitely getting news, and hopefully that will include more card reveals, more EXs, because I love what we've got. I just don't think we've got enough so far. We also then need to ask the question of, well, hang on a second, if this is like the big special illustration rare from the set, how does this set match up with Battle Partners? Because we know that Battle Partners had one absolutely gigantic special illustration rare and one pretty gosh darn big special illustration rare. The absolutely gigantic one is Lily's Clefairy. Just absurdly big. Right now, it's basically tied with Umbreon from, Terrestrial Festival in Japan, Prismatic Evolutions over here. Whereas on release, it was actually a fair bit above that. The Japanese version, obviously. And they also had the Iono's Bellabolt, which, again, on release, was outstripping the Pikachu. Pikachu has Pikachu's basically stayed where it is, honestly. But Iono's Bellabolt has dropped, so it's now below Pikachu. But still, those two special illustration rares from Battle Partners are a very, very big deal. Where does this stack up? I don't think it's going to be as high. Like, Ho-Oh's cool and all, But Ho-Oh isn't really bringing in the collectors like a Pikachu or an Umbreon. And Ethan, is your gold and silver protagonist, but is anyone, loving Ethan like that? I don't think so. I saw a lot of messages and tweets and all of that when the reveal came down last week of, am I the only one that didn't know who Ethan was? Well, I did know who Ethan was, but apparently anyone tweeting out that, no, you were not the only one. And realistically, no, I don't think this is going to be the big card from the set. I'm assuming Cynthia's Garchomp gets an EX. We know Cynthia's Garchomp is coming in the set. It's right there on the booster pack. It's got to be an EX because it's Cynthia's Garchomp, it's on the front of the pack, etc., etc. And I don't think there's any way that doesn't get a special illustration rare. So you add that all up and, yeah, I think it's a given. And that should be the big card from the set. From what it's worth, all of the trainers' EXs, all 4 of them in Battle Partners, did get a special illustration rare. So I am expecting the same thing here. If it's got an EX in the set, I would expect it to get a special illustration rare. So it's probably not going to be big on the level of a Lily's Clefairy, for instance. And honestly, I don't think it's going to be the biggest special illustration rare in the set. I believe that is going to go to Cynthia's Garchomp. Haven't seen the card yet. Technically, we don't even know that it's existing. But I feel pretty confident. But is it going to be good? And the answer is, yeah. Remember we talked about this the other day. I'm not saying the Ethan deck is going to be absolutely ridiculously broken or anything like that. But I absolutely am saying that it looks good. Because Ethan's Ho-Oh EX has got a rather redonkulous ability whereby once during your turn, you can attach 2 basic fire energy from your hand to one of your Ethan's Pokemon. As a side note, they do have to go onto the same Pokemon. Bit sad, but that's alright. And remember, I did tell you last week about Armor Rouge and how its ridiculous ability that allows you to, as often as you like during your turn, move a fire from one of your bench to your active, basically makes this for anything. You can move to any active Pokemon using Armor Rouge. You just need an Ethan's Pokemon to attach it to. And Ho-Oh is an Ethan's Pokemon. And Ho-Oh does say, attach 2 fire energy from your hand to one of your Ethan's Pokemon. And technically it's a benched Ethan's Pokemon, I should say. Has to go to an Ethan's Pokemon on your bench. But as long as this Ho-Oh's on your bench, you can just attach it to this. And yes, it does stack if you've got more than one Ethan's Ho-Oh on the field. So the ability's nuts, and the attack is kind of terrible. 4 energy, 160, heal 50 from each of your Pokemon. There's a couple of things I don't like. The 160 isn't great. The healing 50 is often going to be irrelevant, but is still a nice bonus. But honestly, the fact here that it's 4 energy, attach for turn, double attach for your ability, and you're still 1 energy short of actually being able to use the attack. That's the biggest issue for Ethan's Ho-Oh for me. But then again, we looked at it and we went, well, yeah, we're kind of alright with this because we're not actually attacking with Ethan's Ho-Oh here now, are we? We're attacking with Ethan's Macargo. And Ethan's Macargo says that you get to discard up to 5 fire energy from this Pokemon, and you deal 70 damage for each energy discarded in this way. And if you discard, the full 5 energy, that's 350, and the maximum natural HP we've seen on any Pokemon so far, as in not boosted by trainers and all of that, is 340. So this will full on legit one-hit KO anything. So honestly, this is your attacker of choice. So I'm not worried about Ho-Oh being a good attacker. We've got a good single prize attacker that does redonkulous damage. Then we got Ethan's Adventure that lets you search for free in combination of basic fire energy and Ethan's Pokemon. And then we've got Ethan's Quilava that once during your turn lets you search for an Ethan's Adventure. And this is a deck which is shaping up nicely. And if this deck does end up being as good as this deck does look like it's going to end up being, yeah, this Ho-Oh is going to be a big deal. It's an absolutely essential part of the deck, and that means a special illustration rare is going to be a big deal. Or you don't even play it in an Ethan's deck, you just play it with Armor Rouge so you can accelerate your energy anywhere you like. That is, as I've previously mentioned, also an option. I don't think this is going to end up being a huge card like Lily's Clefairy. And I don't even think it's going to end up being the biggest card in the set. That's for Cynthia's Garchomp. But do I think this is going to end up being a pretty big deal as a card? Oh, yeah. This is a very lovely card. It's got a legendary Pokemon in Ho-Oh. And Pokemon, you know, there's a lot more than Ho-Oh in terms of popularity. Ho-Oh's good, but it's not right up there with things like an Umbreon or a Pikachu. I just don't think it really matters. I think between the ridiculous artwork, the playability, and the fact that even though Ho-Oh's not up there with Umbreon and Pikachu, it's still amazing, this is going to be a very big card. But I've told you all about it now, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this card. Is this going to be one of your chases for the set, or are you waiting for something maybe a little bit better? Let me know in the comment section. Get us! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Chelsea Rose, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout-out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.